This new Democrat socialist majority continues on their quest to destroy and erode the gains that we have made since the last election when it came to financial growth inside America. Here's a snapshot of the current economic conditions. Just last month, there were 224,000 jobs added to the U.S. economy. That was surpassing all expectations. We're at a near 50-year low unemployment. For 16 months, the unemployment rate has been at or below 4%. And since January 2017, 5.6 million jobs have been created through the help of not only the tax cut, but the deregulation and the pro-growth policies that we've been able to move forward. Instead of building on this incredible economic boom, Democrats are set to try to sabotage it. If you look at the own CBO numbers, which others have mentioned, it could result in the loss of 3.7 million jobs. If you read further into the Congressional Budget Office, it talks about who we're actually trying to help it hurts the worst. Those of lower income could actually have their income lowered or a loss of job. We've found that in history that those states have done this. We have our even members and colleagues that we serve with, just in their last job, the location that they have worked at has shuttered their doors simply because of a minimum wage increase. It's not just my words. Listen to this. From Alan B. Krueger, this is the former chairman of President Obama's Council on Economic Advisors. He warns a 15-hour national minimum wage would put us in uncharted waters and risk undesirable and unintended consequences. In a time where we have so many other challenges, in a time where we want to raise individuals to continue the growth of what we're having, the Democrats continue to play stunts, and they're political stunts at that. We've got a concern when we've got to have a budget agreement. I think we've made progress, even in the last couple days, something that we need to focus on. We have a debt ceiling that could hit before we're back in September. We've got to make sure we get that done. Those are the things that we should be focused on. We have a challenge and a crisis in the border. We know the challenge and crisis can only be solved if Congress acted. We have a speaker that requested from the president to postpone any type of movement from individuals who had a court order to leave the country. He did, with the hope that Congress would act, and not one thing was taken up during that time frame. But today we'll spend more time on the floor dealing with politics. I think the American public expect more of us. They expect us to actually solve the problems. We know no one person gets 100% of what they want. Our government is designed to find compromise. And I will tell you, from the Republican side of the aisle, we can work with anybody that wants to put America first and be able to work towards that. We have found that just in the last week, the National Defense Authorization Act, for the first time in 58 years, this new socialist Democrat majority couldn't even put troops first. They had to put politics first. When we watched at the supplemental on the border, and what's most concerning is the Senate has done what is right. They found bipartisanship when it came to the supplemental vote and also when it came to the NDAA. 84 was the vote on the supplemental, 86. Leaders of both sides of the aisle were able to vote for it. Not in this body. It has changed. This is no longer the Democratic Party. This has become the Socialist Democratic Party. With that, I'll take questions. Yes, ma'am.
You've been here for several Congresses with both parties in the majority. President Trump has said with this new asylum rule that he has taken matters into his own hands because Congress can't pass comprehensive immigration. Why has Congress been unable to pass comprehensive immigration?
Well, we tried a number of different Congresses. Last Congress we tried, and we brought 2 different bills to the floor. The real challenge was the other side of the aisle made sure that no one voted for it. I always believe that you're going to have a process in the House and a process in the Senate, and there was ability to find compromise on both sides. Unfortunately, I think there is a belief on the other side of the aisle that they want to keep the issue out there. Now, everybody wants to be able to protect somebody who really has a challenge when it comes to asylum. But what is happening today is individuals are coming from other countries, passing 1, 2, 3 other countries and never claiming asylum. We found through our own court system. Because when you come here and you claim asylum, you do get to be able to have your day in court. 80% of those do not hold up. There's other ways to deal with. In the Obama administration, in one moment they had, where you could claim asylum in your own country, in the consulate itself, and if your court case came forward, then you could come to America. We want to make sure we protect those who truly need it. But this is a system that has created a loophole that actually puts it in doubt of protecting those who need it in a time, and we should act. I watched the Speaker ask the President to hold off on an action that the court has asked this country to take. He did. But nothing happened inside Congress. The responsibility lies with us. ICE and Border Patrol can't do something different than what the law says. They have to uphold the law. We should make sure that we fix this problem because we do have a crisis. Yes.
Mr. Leader, were the president's tweets that said "go back" racist? Yes or no?
No. And I do not believe the Speaker of the House was racist last week either when those individuals on her side of the aisle who are claiming the president is racist, when they claim she was racist either. I do not believe that. I believe this is about ideology. This is about socialism versus freedom. And it's very clear what the debate is happening. I understand when I listened to their press conference yesterday, they talked more about impeachment than anything else. Even one of those individuals, this wasn't the first time they talked about impeachment. On the night of being sworn in, they brought all their supporters together, and they spoke about impeachment in words that I will not use here. This is more from their basis about politics, and it's unfortunate. We should get back to the business of America. Yes.
McCarthy, and I would like to hear from both you and Mr. Scalise, going back to a couple things you said.
Sure.
You've said that this is politics.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Scalise, you said that this is one more chance to go after the president here. When you have a resolution like this on the floor today, though, your
I will vote
members-
against this resolution if you
And
ask me.
you're going to encourage your members to vote against that resolution?
Yeah, it's all politics. If you look at the resolution itself and you look at the rules of the House, you can't even name the resolution on the floor. If this is the case of what they are concerned most about, let's go through every comment individuals who have made on the other side of the aisle. Are we bringing a resolution up on the floor about their comments? No. When they question a person's faith, where they can actually believe if somebody of the Jewish faith could support America, or do they have to support Israel? When the questions and comments individuals have made, and that's why this body should be better than this. The individuals that you continue to play politics with, let's solve the problems that are before us.
But this is the root of my question here, though.
Yes.
There is a perception, whether it be right or not, that the Republican Party and members have not sufficiently rejected what the president said. You say that these comments are not racist.
I think the
That said-
president clarified
But
that.
that said, even if it is the situation that those comments are over the line, even if you don't believe it, isn't it a problem with the optic for the party that members are going to vote today on your side of the aisle to support the president and what he said about
I
these
think this
four
party has been very clear. We are the party of Lincoln. This party believes in the content of the individual. I've watched from our own actions. I've watched an individual in my own party do something that we disagreed with. We took action. I've watched the other side of the aisle, though, when it came to questioning a person's faith, a person's loyalty to America and other, that no action was taken. I've watched what was written in a resolution using words that you can't even use on the floor. I've watched a press conference that only talked about impeachment. I've watched a chairman of the Judiciary Committee that handles impeachment use as their platform to win the chairmanship that he would be better to impeach the president. Long before a Mueller report ever came through and said no collusion or others. Let's not be false about what is happening here today. This is all about politics and beliefs of ideologies of what individuals have. Yes, sir.
Do you think that there are decent chances of getting an agreement on the caps and the debt limit before the recess? And if there's not a caps agreement, do you want to ask your members to vote for a clean debt limit this month?
I do think that we can get this done. And I would say to the Speaker, if we are as close as I believe we are and we need a day or two longer, we should stay here and make sure we get it done. There is a real concern, and I don't think this is a question on any side of the aisle, that when the debt ceiling can hit, that it could hit early September or maybe sooner. We should not leave for August without dealing with that. And I would say if we can't get this done, we should do a 30-day. I don't think that's ideal. I'd rather get a cap agreement and a debt ceiling agreement before we leave in July. And I think we are very close to making that happen. Yes, last question.
Do you agree with President Trump that former Speaker Ryan was weak, ineffective, and stupid as leader?
Look, I think Speaker Ryan worked very hard. I think he was a good speaker, and he was a great speaker. Speaker Ryan is a very good friend of mine. I've watched what he's been able to achieve. I've watched what he's been able to achieve with this president. Tax reform that has not been done in 30 years. All those statistics, as I did laid off for you in the economics of where it was a team that was built. I've watched what, you're quoting something based upon a book that I have not read, and then I hadn't talking to the Speaker Ryan. I know that's not the words of what he would use because I've been in rooms with him and with the president. These are two individuals that work very well together. I know that someone can take a language out. In there, they talk about Mr. Ryan talking about the president coming from business. That's exactly what America needed. A president who could come in and shake up Washington. Speaker Ryan was perfect in the job where he was at, the knowledge of what he had, and that combination together made sure in this Congress that we got tax reform done. Because remember this, Article 1, Section 7, tax reform doesn't start in the Senate, it starts in the House. And without Speaker Ryan and without President Trump, it never would have gotten done. Thank you.